Netflix has a new movie out, Sea Beast. Animated feature. Is it for kids? Is it for adults? Well, let's find out. I'm not going to the bathroom today, everybody.
That's a new intro.
Well, Paul, why don't you give us a little rundown of Sea Beast?
Sea Beast is a pirate adventure, and one of the main voice actors is Carl Urban.
Carl Urban.
Okay,
yeah.
so he's
from
on
The Boys.
And so he's a pirate for this kingdom. They actually help out the kingdom by going and defeating...
Pirate? No. Hunter.
A pirate hunter. They go out and they hunt...
He doesn't hunt pirates.
A seafaring hunter that goes out and finds monsters and defeats them for the kingdom. And they're heroes. Everybody loves them. They're celebrities, really. And they embark on a journey to go find this one particular beast, but on the way they find other beasts and try to take them out. And there's a code that if you see another hunter ship in trouble, you go help them because they're brother hunters.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And there's a little girl. She's an orphan, and she loves the hunters so much she wants to be one day, and she stows away on the ship.
Which could have seen coming a million miles away.
Yeah. And her parents were... the reason she's an orphan is they were hunters too, and they periled on this famous ship that went down, apparently. They lost all hands, and so they were hunters too.
Yeah.
And I think the beast is called Red.
The red bluster.
The red
Red
bluster,
Bluster.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, the orphanage, they're not very good. So,
Well, when a kid can just climb up and go out the window and run away, then yeah.
She was an orphan who didn't live in the orphanage, it looked like.
Yeah.
It looked like she was sneaking in and out of the orphanage.
Right.
Which is new.
so they need better security, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so story. Did you enjoy it? Well,
Okay, so I'll tell you what I did enjoy. The animation of the world, like the water,
pretty realistic.
and the like the sand and stuff. It almost looked like they were using real life images in the animation.
Yeah, like the opening shots. I said, "Wait, is this a cartoon or
Yeah.
not?"
That was incredible. Like the realism was incredible. And it wasn't until you actually started seeing characters that you were like, "Oh my god, it's cartoon." Right? Like it's animation. So I was really impressed by that.
I liked just some various little things that you find in these movies. Like when they do a speech that's a rousing morale booster. You know, they were actually good speeches. They weren't cheesy things that are making me cringe listening to them. They were good ones. And you can see this pirate being a leader. That men and there were women pirates too, that all the pirates would follow. So I liked that. It wasn't cringy.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a bar song that was actually good lyrics and catchy. And it wasn't Disneyfied or anything. It was
Sing it
just,
for us.
okay, maybe at the end of the video.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Maybe.
Just the little things like that. I really enjoyed.
Okay, how about you?
I kind of enjoyed the monsters. The way they made the monsters appear and look, and the facial expressions even. When the monster's curious or upset or just angry. You got the emotion from the facial expressions on the sea beast itself. Mm-hmm. It wasn't always just this cringy looking monster. It looked thoughtful, it looked considerate, and I did like the fact that it was like this guy's an idiot when they're riding on the back, etc. Like the story itself, very predictable. Mm-hmm. All the way through. You knew what was going to happen. But overall, I enjoyed it. Some of the stuff was, okay, it's getting a little long now. The whole queen and the king there, that story plot really didn't develop much.
No, they could have done without it, actually.
Like they did, like all of a sudden the whole, oh, by the way, they're the evil ones causing all the trouble. But we didn't get that really from the limited time we were able to spend with them.
Well, there was a couple of things that they didn't expand on enough. Like they had the let's call them the kingdom officer ship that are supposed to compete with the hunters, and yeah, they introduce them as the bad guys, and then you don't really see them except for this one little moment, and it's not really a significant moment. So it's kind of like thrown in there, and then they forgot about it.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, we should reintroduce that.
Like, and they didn't like they at one point you have the hunters, and then you have this big warship that they're building with the military. That's all cannons along the side, the most cannons ever put on a ship. And the guy says, you can't use that. It's no good against sea monsters and everything. And so I'm expecting this big reason of why filling a ship with cannons isn't going to be good against a sea monster. And then when the sea monster faces off against the ship, it just keeps coming towards them and they're shooting cannons at it. It would have been cool to see like the sea monster, they fire all the shots going and it just goes under the water and it goes over them. Oh, that's why cannons are no good against sea monsters. But there was no real explanation. It just destroys the ship like this. It really made no difference in the different designs of the ships. Mm-hmm. So
my expectation going into this was, okay, you got the little girl, and she's gonna be the know-it-all like Princess Leia.
Yep. And guess what?
She's gonna. Actually, I don't. If you think that she was, I thought she was tossed around the ship. She was almost killed. She was in danger a lot of the time. She was very caring. She went and she took spears out of the back, and she was very empathetic. But she wasn't good at everything.
Not necessarily. Okay, not necessarily good at everything, but
she's right.
But
in everything she did,
the sea monster will only listen to her
because she was caring. Well,
but this was before she did anything caring. Right? When she's still stuck in the thing's nostril. Like there was a lot of virtue signaling in this movie, I found. And I'm sure anybody who's watching it can see that for themselves. But
apparently not.
No.
You didn't.
Not at all.
Even the last speech at the end.
The last speech at the end where she
calls out the king and queen.
Kingdom.
Yeah.
What's the virtue signal?
You didn't see any virtue signaling in this movie?
No, I thought the message of the movie was fantastic. That everything that you know about history might be wrong because it's fed to you by the people who either won the wars or in power.
Or who wrote the history.
Are you going to listen to the government-controlled news networks because you think they're telling the truth? It's time to start thinking critically and live for what's happening now instead of listening to all the garbage that we've been indoctrinated with. And I thought that was refreshing. It was a good moral for a regular movie.
Okay. I'm not going to get into it because it's political. But I saw a lot of virtue signaling. And I understand what you're saying about the message, but that can also be taken another way. As well, everything that we know that's true isn't.
Oh yeah. I see. You both sides of whatever spectrum you're on. Okay,
yes.
could take it to back their own agenda, but that's fine. As long as people are given the message, start thinking for yourself.
Yeah, and that, like that said, you have to remember. Okay, well, it's a Disney movie. Of course, it's not going to be too heavy.
Disney movie?
Well, it's a cartoony
It's on Netflix.
movie.
It can't be Disney.
It's not Disney, but it's a cartoony movie, and you have to remember it's who it's for. That's all.
Okay. Sea Beast, a cartoon for kids.
No, it is enjoyable for both kids and adults, I believe. A good adventure, heartwarming, save the animals, work together for a better day.
Half decent animation, a few chuckles.
It's probably not one of these movies that you're going to watch every year or you're going to remember fondly.
No,
but it's
well, you might remember it fondly, but
you won't regret watching it.
No, not at all.
No, it's fine.
What do you give it?
7.
6.
6.5. We're right down the middle. It was okay. Few problems, but nothing that stood out to go, I hate this. So, yeah, acceptable. And it's a kid's movie. Take it for that. Your children will be fine watching this. There's not swearing. There's not a lot of stuff. Even there is some scary stuff in a little bit. Like when the captain's being dragged down in the bottom of the water. And he's sinking to the bottom, and he's just looking up at the ship.
Maybe scary for
kids.
5-year-old.
For kids, that's what I'm talking about. For kids, And by the way, I don't know how he got back on the ship. At all. But he did. But there you go. All right, that's our review of Sea Beast. Check it out on Netflix. And now you go in the bathroom today, everybody.
That's a new intro.